Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Chef Yusuf Show, where we learn to cook the Islamic way. Today I'm going to show you how to make Greek yogurt. This yogurt, the Greek yogurt, it tastes delicious and it's very wonderful, especially for the time of suhoor, the time where Muslims wake up, before dawn prayer, and they consume this meal because the next day is a fasting day, because this is a month of Ramadan, the holy month in Islam, And I want to mention one of the things that we should do in the month of Ramadan as Muslims. Before we start, I want to mention that we should have a menu. Now, this is not a food menu. I'm talking about a menu of our deeds, of our a'mal. We should schedule how much we're gonna pray in the month of Ramadan, how much Quran we're gonna recite, and how much we're gonna memorize. We try to put and challenge ourselves, how much charity will I donate this month, and how much of the good deeds and good a'mal, and of course if we have bad habits, how much we are trying to avoid it. We should quit smoking, we should stop a lot of these bad habits in this holy month, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, after describing the paradise, Allah says, وَفِي ذَلِكَ فَلْيَتَنَافَسِ الْمُتَنَافِسُونَ. And in that, which means paradise, we should, Muslims, believers, we should compete in. We Muslims, we should try to achieve and do a competition, And inshallah, we ask Allah that Allah will give us the victory, which is the biggest prize that we can have, which is paradise, Jannah. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Now, in the last episode, I spoke about the things that we should eat in the month of Ramadan. I mentioned lentil soup. I mentioned the things that locks in moisture in our body and absorb the moisture, so we won't go to the bathroom and release it and be thirsty all day. So today I want to expand on the subject. I'm going to talk about more of the foods that we should eat, the food that will give us energy, and some of the things that we should avoid. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the things that I do recommend in the suhoor meal is to eat peanut butter or almonds or nuts, walnuts. The fatty acids will give us a lot of energy during the day. So while fasting, we won't feel dizzy, we won't have a headache, we'll perform our a'mal, and our fasting will be improved, especially in these few days. The first 2 or 3 days, it tends to be the most difficult upon us. The other thing is I recommend is to eat yogurt. Yogurt has, it's a refreshing, it has a lot of water, and it's good when for the thirst. You won't feel thirsty after all. I do recommend bananas. Look at these bananas, they have a color code. You can see these bananas are perfect to be eaten. The bananas give us color code. If they're too green, they're subhanallah. And also bananas, I do recommend to, if you work in Ramadan and you're not able to go back and have lunch, if you want food on the go, bananas are perfect because you don't have to wash them. It has a good seal on them, so you just go ahead and peel them. It doesn't have any seeds on them, so I do recommend that for iftar, to break your fast, as well as the suhoor time. The other thing I recommend is those ramen noodle meals. These are very economical. They qualify to be a third, which is the food that is beloved to the Prophet ﷺ, which is bread with soup. That's what basically noodles with soup. This is kind of the same thing. The way you do this, by the way, is all you have to do is just boil water and add on top of it, and make sure you seal it with a plate or something, and wait 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, you see it all fluffy and soft and ready to be eaten. The same thing when you buy the packages of ramen noodle. You boil water, you put them in a plate, and you cover the plate for 10 minutes, and that's the best way, in my opinion. So in today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is very delicious, it's very refreshing, and it is an awesome thing that we can have at a suhoor meal. Inshallah, let's go ahead and get started. The recipe tends to be cucumber, some yogurt, and some mint. And some people like to put garlic, but since we're fasting the second day, we will go ahead and ditch the garlic, because there is no rules. A lot of people get misunderstood about how food work. They think, oh, the recipe says garlic, then that's it, we have to put garlic. Well, if you don't like garlic, you don't have to put garlic, because there is no rules in cooking, right? So we'll go ahead and get started, and I'm going to add some yogurt in a plate. This is how easy this meal is. Imagine we are waking up in suhoor and we only have few minutes to fast. So we'll go ahead and add the yogurt in. The second thing we want to add, we're going to go ahead and slice the cucumbers. Now this is the English cucumber. You know, a lot of people in the West, in America and South America, when they go to the supermarket, they see the cucumber and they see this long cucumber, right? And this is the English cucumber. Now there is another kind of cucumber, Persian cucumber, the same cucumber that is grown in the part of the Middle East and in Greece. The same cucumber that traditionally they use for this yogurt salad, right? So usually you don't find that all the time. English cucumber works, regular cucumber works, but for one thing I just want to mention about the regular cucumber, you might want to go ahead and peel it, because the skin of the cucumber has wax. They wax it so it will become fresh. If you notice, if you buy these cucumbers, they don't tend to last very long, especially the Persian cucumbers. They go bad really quick, so you have to, if you see them in your fridge, you have to like kind of prepare a salad or prepare something with them real quickly. The one in the supermarket, they sell them with these plastic bags. You guys know what I'm talking about. They put them in these plastic bags. So let's go ahead and peel it. This is half the size of the full cucumber, so you can imagine how huge these cucumbers are. We'll go ahead and get a knife. Now I'm going to show you a method that's not taught in culinary school. You know, there's a lot of ways you can use a knife and cut the cucumber. But one of the things we want to do is we want to do it very fine. And if you don't have a food processor, if you don't just set up the food processor at night because other people are sleeping, or you don't want to make a lot of noise, or just, you know, it's too much work, what we do, we go ahead and use this method. This is the method of the best method of preparing the salad, which we go ahead with the knife. You know, we keep slicing it as much as we can, and we'll go ahead and slice them this way, as thin as we can. And you can see how fine and thin the cucumber is, right? We'll go ahead and take this cucumber and add it on top of the yogurt. We'll do the whole thing, of course. Okay, so since I'm cutting this, I'm going to just mention some of the things that we should avoid in the month of Ramadan, the foods that we should avoid, not in the month of Ramadan, I mean in the time of suhoor, the food that will tend to make us more thirsty, the food that will gives us you know, the food that makes us thirsty, and the food that it just I don't recommend. One of the things that the foods that contain a lot of sugar, because what happened when we eat like a very sweet pie, we tend to wake up in the morning very thirsty, because all of the sugar in the pie makes us very thirsty. So try to stay away from those. The other thing is I try to stay away from fried food, fries and pizza. You know, like you ever had that feeling when you eat a pizza and you go to sleep, and when you wake up in the morning you feel like something good, like a feeling of you want to just drink water. So you don't want to have that while you're fasting and feel miserable the whole day. So try to stay away from those. The other thing is we want to try to avoid tea, because when we drink tea we tend to the water that we drink with the tea, it tends to be released quicker. So when we go to the bathroom, we lose the moisture that we consumed from the tea. Other things I advise is, if you do smoke, try not to smoke in the suhoor time. I mean, some ulama says it is forbidden, but for now we'll just say if you do smoke, try to do your best effort to quit smoking, inshallah. And you notice I did not slice this end of the cucumber, so I can keep holding it while I do these small cuts. Alright, so if you see any big parts, you go ahead and slice them. There we have really nice and thinly sliced English cucumber. We'll add them with the yogurt, and we are almost done. There's one more thing that we have to do. Of course, we want to put some seasoning. We'll add some salt. If you want to have some, if you have pepper, go ahead and add some pepper. And also we want to add some mint. A lot of people will put dry mint, but surprisingly, I don't have any dry mint. I have some fresh mint. You know, usually when people talk about mint, they go the other way. They don't have fresh mint, and they have dry mint because, you know, it is a good product for storage. But the thing is, the reason I have fresh mint is because we live in an apartment building, and the building next to our building, they have mint grown all over the place, and nobody knows about it, and they leave it, nobody picks it up, and nobody even knows that there is mint grown. One of the things I always recommend, especially in Akhir al-Zaman, in the end of time, is to grow your own food. Because think about it now, this mint, first of all, it is organic, it is free, and it is fresh, and it doesn't have any of the chemicals or pesticide, or, you know, you didn't even have to wash them thoroughly if it was sprayed, for example. So one of the things I do recommend is mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf, when the people of the cave, they went out of the cave, they were instructed to go and find aska ta'aman, the best food. So this is something I do recommend, and especially, you know, if you live in the Midwest region, you can just put mint, and the beautiful thing about mint is it reproduces itself, right? You don't have to take care of it. It just keeps growing and keeps expanding, and next thing you know, you do have a big field of mint. We're still in the summertime now. When the summer is about to be over, I'm gonna go ahead and probably collect them and try to dry them throughout the winter. So we go ahead and we'll go ahead and chop the mint as fine as we can. We'll go ahead and add it to the yogurt. And usually in the United States, when they sell the yogurt, it's kind of thicker than usually in Greek or in the Middle East. So as you can see, it is a little bit thick. We'll go ahead and add some water on top of this, and this is our method of Greek yogurt, and it is awesome if you consume this at the time of suhoor. It is refreshing. It doesn't have any garlic, because, you know, there's a hadith about garlic, that if you eat garlic, you know, we're not supposed to, like, enter the masjid, right? And also garlic, if we eat garlic, we're gonna wake up with garlic smell, and how are you gonna remove the garlic smell while you're fasting? So avoid garlic, try to avoid garlic, but you don't, it's not it's just my own personal recommendation. And do not forget about the menu of A'mal, and let's go ahead and compete in this month of Ramadan. I will see you, I'll talk to you next time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.